Hello friends, welcome to another video of SlideScope. We are learning web development. In this course, we have discussed about creating web pages using HTML, CSS and various classes of Bootstrap. I taught you how you can create a static home page for your applications with responsive sliders, responsive menus, responsive HTML forms. We discussed about creating a simple hotel registration form for creating hotel management system. We have also discussed about all the core concepts or the fundamental concepts of PHP. Now in this part, I will teach you how you can create database for any application using MySQL or MariaDB server. To access MySQL or MariaDB server, we will use PHP MyAdmin Web Tool. PHP MyAdmin Web Tool is automatically there when you install a software like XAMPP or WAMP server that we have already discussed. As an example, I will continue my hotel management system application, and as an example I will show you how we can create a database for that application. Make sure you have XAMPP or WAMP server installed and running. In your XAMPP control panel or WAMP server control panel, make sure that Apache and MySQL modules are up and running. And then go to your browser. You can go to browser of your choice. Type localhost and type PHP myadmin. So PHP myadmin is a web tool for management and administration of databases. When you will open PHP myadmin for the first time, so in this sidebar here that you are seeing, in this sidebar some databases will already be there. These are system databases. By clicking on new, we can create our new database. Here you have to enter the name of your database. Let's say name of our database is hotel underscore management. I can call it DB underscore hotel underscore management, so that by using this DB prefix, I know that this is a database. Leave this collation as Latin 1 underscore Swedish underscore CI. Leave default value for whatever default value you have. Choose that default value. Ignore everything and create. This is how your database is created. Remember, in this example, I will show you how we can create databases without writing SQL commands. I will show you the SQL commands also. So to create a database, the basic SQL command is create database, and suppose our database name is DB underscore hotel underscore management. In MySQL, we can use this left inverted comma. This left inverted comma is just below the escape key in our keyboard. So by using this left inverted comma, we make sure that the identifier that we have written here, the identifier has starts from this part and ends here. Sometimes we have a space in our identifier name. So in that case, MySQL will not be able to recognize the database names. That's why I have used underscore here and a left inverted comma here, just to make sure that the value that is written inside these left inverted commas is a database name. Database name, I will tell you one more thing. Database name, table name, columns name, So we will create data tables also, because without data tables, database is nothing. A database is a collection of data tables, we can say. In data tables, we have data written in tabular format. We have rows and columns in our data table. So in our data table, we have rows and columns. Columns are attribute of data. So we discussed an example here while we were creating a form for hotel management system. We discussed that while registering a hotel, a user will or a user has to enter these fields: hotel name, hotel email, city, pin code, password, and various other things. So these fields here are the column names. These fields here are the attributes of data, and using these attributes of data, we'll be able to identify any particular data. So columns are attributes of data, or we can say fields that are needed in order to describe data, because it's a tabular data. So there will be some columns, and inside those columns we will have our various informations. So we have already seen about tabular information, and rows are simply new data. So suppose we have data of 100 hotels. That means we have 100 rows of data, or we can have 100 rows of data. So in every row there is information about new data. So we'll see these examples. So our job is to create database here and data tables here, and to create a database we can simply use create database and database name. So with database name, column name, with database name, column name, and table name, we use this left inverted comma. So you will see that also. So now our database is created here, and now it's time to create a table. And in your table, you can see first you have to choose how many columns you want to create. By default, they have 4 columns. If you will press go, again you can add columns later also. But as per the discussion, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we have 5 columns for hotel registration. So I am creating a table here called TBL underscore hotel. So this TBL underscore hotel will store details of our tables. Number of columns, you can see we have 5 columns here. I will add one column from myself. That column will be an identifier. In most of the tables, we will have an identifier. This identifier is a unique key, or is a unique value, you can say, and it's an identity for the data. So every row has unique data, and or every row can have unique data, and this identifier works as unique identity for that data. We call it primary key. Primary key is the main key of any particular row. In table, we have this column to identify data. For example, suppose you have some government ID. So your government ID is something like this, we can say. Let's say this is your government ID. So in your government ID, there are n number of characters. For example, in India, we have PAN number, we have driving license number. So everywhere there is some driving license number, and no two people can have the same driving license number. Similarly, no two people can have the same tax identification number. So this first column that we create in every table is a primary key that works as a unique identifier, right? Just like your government ID. So by just by viewing your government ID, or just with the help of your government ID, one can tell all the details about you. So similarly, we have one extra column in our table. So, and that is primary key. That's why I am having 6 columns here. I will press go, and now my table will be created. You can see this is a table designer here, and PHP gives a really nice table designer here. First column I will call it as hotel underscore ID, again, which is simply the identification or the identity. Now we have data type here, right? So this is data type of columns. We have studied data type in PHP. We have string data, we have integer data, float data, we have dates, we have data that has long text. So integer, varchar, text, and date are some common types of are some common data types in MySQL. We will make our hotel ID as integer. Its length will be, let's say, 3. So as your government ID has n number of characters, so our hotel ID can have maximum 3 characters, and it will start from 1. So hotel number 1 will have a ID of 1, hotel number 2 will have a ID of 2, and so on. So hotel which will be registered at 100 place will have a ID of 100. So in 100 you can see there are 3 characters, and that's why I am setting it 3. And let's say we'll store maximum of 100 hotels in this database. So that's why we can say that the maximum length will be 3. In upcoming versions of MySQL, this limitation will be removed. So let's move ahead, and there's one more thing that we have to do for making our column as an identity, and that is we have to set it as primary key. You can see we are adding an index here that is called primary key index. It will set a constraint on this particular table, primary key constraint. We can hit go here. Our primary key will also be automatically incremented. So this is auto increment. That means we don't have to enter the value of this hotel ID. MySQL server will fill the value of this particular hotel ID. So now we have created hotel ID here. Let's create hotel name. So this will be our second column, which will store the information of hotel name. Now just simply think what data type of value can be entered here. So answer is string, because hotel names are mostly alphabets. So we have a string data type here. So in a string data type we have char and varchar. Tiny text, text, medium text, long text. So char means characters of fixed length, and we can set it for 0 to 255 character values. Varchar means values which will have variable characters. So we'll select varchar here. In char, suppose in your government ID there can be alphabets and numbers. So alphabets and numbers will make it alphanumeric, and hence the type of data will become string data type. But every person from that country will have a fixed character for that government ID. For example, for PAN number, suppose there are 10 characters. So for every citizen, that will be 10 characters only. So in that case we can use char. Char means fixed. When you know the value that will come in your column, it will have fixed number of characters for everyone. But hotel name can be variable. Some hotels have really long names, some hotels have smaller names. So that's why we can choose varchar here. If you have if you want to store a data that will be a very large, so a text column with a maximum length of, you can see, 2 into 2 raised to the power 16 minus 1 characters. So it can store up to, you can say, 2 byte, stored with a 2 byte prefix indicating the length of the value. So it can store really long data, this text here. Similarly, we have medium text which can store more data. Then we have long text which can store 4 GB of data. So you can see, just by hovering over to these data types, you can see their description also. And our hotel name, I don't think will have more than 100 characters in the name. So that's why I will choose varchar. Some hotels can have a name of, let's say, 15 to 20 characters, and some hotel can have a name of 80 to 90 characters. That's why it is variable character. Next, we have this one more constraint here, that is null constraint. If you will check anywhere on null constraint, so null constraint means that this particular column can have a null value. That means if someone is not submitting a value for this column, so null will be entered here. We already studied about the null data type. So we are not checking null here, that automatically makes it not null. So we cannot have null values now in hotel name. So while creating or while registration from the user form that we created here, so we created this user form, right? If you remember. So this is hotel name, hotel email, address, hotel city. This is actually pin code, and I think we have copied one column 2 or 3 times. I will fix that. So now it is fixed. You can see hotel name, email address, city, pin code, number of rooms, etc. So the type of value that we are storing here cannot be null. So we cannot enter null values here. That is the simple meaning of this. We cannot leave any field blank. User has to fill all the information here. Everything is mandatory. Then we have, after hotel name, we have hotel email. Again, in case of hotel email also there are variable characters. Someone has a smaller email ID, someone has email ID with more number of characters. Again, in hotel name there can be alphabets, there can be numeric values, there can be special characters also for abc123 at gmail.com. So you have various special characters also. That's why it is string data type. We will choose varchar here, and let's say no one can have more than 100 characters in their email name, email ID. Again, it is also not going to be null because it is mandatory. Suppose some particular value is not mandatory in your case, so then you can check null there. Then we have city and pin code. Again, city name will also be variable, so we can set varchar and let's say 50. Then we have pin code. So suppose I am creating this application for Indian hotels, and in India the fixed length for pin code is 6 and it is an integer data type. So this is just an example why we set these lengths here. So we cannot have any pin code of 5 characters or 3 characters. So there's a fixed length and it will be of integer data types. Here we can use char also, but I will use int here. After pin code we have password here, and we can name it like pwd or whatever. And in password also we can have variable characters, and I will put 100 here because I will use encrypted passwords for this application. So encrypted passwords can have up to 64 bits or more also. So I will use some hash algorithms to make the password encrypted. We have studied about something like MD5 or SHA-1. So we'll use the password hash function here. I'm just putting it 100. I will reduce it later. But setting it 100 here. And now there is one more column which is left here, and that is called number of rooms. So we can add one column from here. I will call this column num underscore rooms, number of rooms. It will be a varchar data because we have hyphens here. So and it will have maximum of 6 characters. So it's a varchar of 6, and we can set actually char here because in this case we have fixed numbers here. So 01 hyphen 10, and in this 30 or more I will simply use 30 plus. So we'll have fixed 6 character. I will make it in such way that it will have fixed 6 character. So we can use char here. So again we have our table created now. We have table set up, and you can click on preview SQL to see the SQL code of how you can create this table. So this is our code for creating a table. I will explain it. So you can also use this code to create a table. I will save this as create tbl.sql. So .sql is the extension for SQL files. Very simple. So we are creating a table in db underscore hotel underscore management. If you remember from the first part, I told you that with database name and table name, we use this left inverted comma in MySQL. It is not mandatory, but it is a good practice to use it like that. So create table db hotel management dot tbl underscore hotel. You can also write it like this. So create table tbl underscore hotel, but make sure that you are inside that particular server. So you can see we are in db underscore hotel management as database. So we can create directly also, or you can write it like this. It's up to you. First column is hotel ID. I told you that with column names also we use this left inverted comma. We have for hotel ID we have data type of int of 3. It will be not null. It will be auto increment. Then we have hotel name varchar not null because we did not check the null box anywhere. That's why every column is not null. We have to fill it. Remember, it can be empty, but it cannot be null. So because there's a difference between null and empty. We have hotel email, which will be a varchar value of 100, not null. We have city, pin code, password, and number of rooms. And finally, after every column name, you have to put a comma here. So the sequence is column name, data type, null not null, then auto increment if it is possible, and you don't have to use comma here. You simply have to use a space, and then if your column definition is finished, so you can put a comma here. We'll create many tables and you will see that how it is written. Just try to remember it, just try to write it in your notebook or anywhere so that you can recall what we have written here. Engine is equal to INNODB. There is another engine called MySAM, and there are various engines. So I will also share a video in which I will explain about difference between InnoDB and MySM and various engines that are there. So as a beginner, you don't have to worry too much about this. Engine is equal to InnoDB. Primary key is set on hotel, and you can see that create table is started from here. The parenthesis is started from here. Inside this, we have these comma separated values. So we have from row number 2 or line number 2 to 9, we have these comma separated values here, and then we have name of these columns here, and we have varchar and everything. Now I will share this code with you. With every chapter I will share the code, so that suppose you have to create a table for hospital management. So this will be hospital ID, hospital name, hospital email, city, pin code, password, and instead of number of rooms you can write something like number of beds. How many beds are there in that hospital or nursing home? You can also write something like specialty and so on. So the number of columns that we create in a particular table, that that is decided after discussion with the client. So whenever you have to create an application, always discuss it with the clients, discuss it with your colleagues, and then you will come up with number of columns here. We are setting one constraint here. Remember, this is constraint, and we are calling it primary key. This is primary key constraint, and there is another constraint here which is not null. So there are two constraints here on columns: primary key on the hotel ID and not null on other columns. Now let's close this, hit save. You can also copy the SQL, go to this SQL tab and simply paste that SQL and run it, or you can simply save here. It is processing request, and you can see our table is now created, and we have this hotel ID, hotel name, hotel email, city, and various other things here. Now let's enter some dummy values in it. So there are two ways of inserting data inside this table. One is we can use the SQL command here. So go to SQL and you can type insert into, and I will show you that. But before that, I just want to show you about this tab here, which is there in PHPMyAdmin, because all these options are there in PHPMyAdmin and they will help us a lot in quick creation and administration of these databases. So I am here in insert. Let's say first hotel's name is ABC Hotel. Hotel email is abc at example.com. You can see they have given a form here, right? We created something like this here for users, and PHPMyAdmin has given us a form here when we have created this table. Then city is, let's say for ABC Hotel, city is Delhi. Pin code is, let's say, 110011. Password is, let's say, ABC123. We'll use some encryption later. This is just for demonstration purpose. And number of rooms are, let's say, because we have to enter data in this format. So let's say number of rooms are 20 to 30. So I can copy this value here and I can hit go. Now you can see we have another query here. So after every operation we are getting some query. I will again make it smaller for you, so, or I will make it more readable for you. So insert into TBL, and you remember we did not enter the hotel ID because hotel ID is auto increment, right? So we did not enter it. So it has by default enter null here, but don't worry, null will not be entered in the column value. So this is the command for insert, guys. In SQL, if you have to write comments, you can write two hyphens. This is a single line comment, and this is insert query in SQL. How you can insert data in SQL? Sorry about that noise. So insert into table name. So I will write it here first so that you can match it. So insert into TBL name, whatever your table name is. Then with TBL name, create a bracket here, create opening and closing brackets here. And inside that, write name of your columns, call 1, call 2, call 3. You have to simply write name of your columns and then write values here, and then write whatever values you have to insert. 1, 2. Now you have to very closely remember one thing, or you have to remember one thing. If your values are numeric, because for column 1, column 2 and column 3 will enter respective values in the same order. If your values are numeric, so for numeric values we should not use these inverted commas, single inverted commas. We can simply write numeric value like this. If the value is non-numeric, that is it's a string, so then you have to write it inside single inverted commas. In MySQL, you have to write it in single inverted commas. Right? You have to write strings in single inverted commas. Similarly, something similar we did in PHP also. We represented strings in double quotes or single quotes. Remember here in MySQL use single inverted comma, single inverted comma for values, left inverted comma for column name and table name and database name. I have already told you that. So we have to write something like insert into this left inverted comma. There are various names of this left inverted comma, so you can call it anything. I'm calling it left inverted comma. This particular inverted comma is just below the escape key with the tilde sign. So this is how we write an insert query, and then we have to write semicolon here. If your query, you have to end your query, and I will comment it. Similar thing is written here. You can see insert into TBL underscore hotel, hotel ID, hotel name, hotel email, city, pin code, password, num rooms. I also follow one really basic rule. While creating name for my columns, I follow the rule of variables. I don't write space here, and you can not you cannot write a column name with number in the first place. Avoid writing number in the first place. This will be invalid. And don't use any other special character other than this underscore. Suppose you have two words. For example, in hotel name we have two words. In hotel email we have two words. So use underscore. So with tables I use TBL. With databases I use DB, so that it will not become confusing for me. With every table I will use TBL, with every database I will use DB. Again, it's up to you what type of convention you want to use. I will also share some common type of conventions that are there so that you can synchronize with the industry standards. For now, I am just giving you some basic instructions here. So you can see insert into TBL, then we have values, and for every respective column we have respective values. Again, for pin code we can write it like this also, but if you will write it like a string also, then also there will be no problem, because the data here is actually integer, and that's why one row is inserted here. I will share this key also with you. So by using this SQL query, you will be able to create your table. By using this SQL query, you will be able to insert a dummy row. So I told you one data means one row. So you can see one row is inserted here, and this is the work of how, or this is how you can create a simple database in your phpMyAdmin or MySQL, and this is how you can create a simple table. Again, if you have to insert another value, let's copy this query. I will show you how you can insert another value by just copying this query. Go to SQL. Let's say this hotel is BCD hotel. So its email is bcd@example.com. I forgot to add phone number. So I will add phone number later. And let's say the city of, because we can edit tables, we can modify them anytime. And let's say it is Varanasi. This particular hotel is in Varanasi. I don't know about the pin codes of Varanasi. I will write something here. So let's write something like a random pin code here, and let's say password is BCD, and number of rooms are, let's say, 10 to 20. Again, I will show you some more details about this also, but so you can simply go to your table and look here. The server is 127.0.0.1. That means it is our local host. Database is db underscore hotel management, in which we are working right now. The table is tbl underscore hotel, and now we can insert some data here. Click go, and now this row will also be inserted. Now we have two tables here, or two rows of data. See, you can see here in both cases we did not enter hotel ID. This is automatically created. That's why it was auto increment. So that is the meaning of auto increment. It will start by default from 1, and then it can go up to any particular number. And this is how we can create a simple table inside a database. In the upcoming examples, I will show you some more queries related to SQL. And in the meanwhile, you can go ahead, go to phpMyAdmin and start creating a database for your application. You can by if your XAMPP control panel is running, and you, if you are not familiar in on what particular address you have to go, so go to MySQL and click on admin here. Wait for some time. Whatever is your default browser, in your default browser, localhost phpMyAdmin will be open. Instead of this localhost, we can also write 127.0.0.1, and this will also open the same URL. So here we have our database. We can expand it, because I have another database here called db underscore super underscore score, and that's why it is saving a prefix here. So I can go to this db hotel management, and if you have to view your records, you can simply click the table and then you can view your records. I hope you have understood this concept. Go ahead, try creating some databases, and in the next part we'll learn more tables. I will also show you how you can create related tables. This is an independent table. In this table, there is no column which is a foreign key. So I will also show you various type of constraints. So go ahead, make these databases. Have a nice day.